Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us at this information session as we will go over the information about the Office Assistant program at MacEwan University's School of Continuing Education. I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather in Treaty 6 territory is the traditional gathering place for many Indigenous people. We honor and respect the history, languages, ceremonies, and culture of the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who call this territory home. My name is Melanie Oliver, and I'm currently a sessional extended instructor in the program. I have with me today presenting Kelly Morris, who is the head instructor for the program. Our advisors are also here with us today, and they'll be able to answer your questions in the chat. There will also be time at the end of the presentation if you have a specific question that hasn't been addressed during the presentation.
Please feel free to follow the School of Continuing Education on social media for updates on our programming and events on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For those of you that don't know, MacEwan University is the second largest university in Edmonton, Alberta. We have over 65 programs, and our average class size is 42 students. There are nearly 13,000 full-time students, with 62% of them being female. We pride ourselves in our student experience and instruction. The Students Association of MacEwan University, or SAMU, has a new building on 109th Street. The Office Assistant program moved to the second newest building called Allard Hall, or Building 11, which was built in 2017 with brand new classrooms and technology. This new building has student use meeting rooms, formal and informal study spaces, common computer areas, student printing, public transit options, and increased access to student services and clubs. We also want to share some quick facts about our student outcomes after graduation, including employment rates and student satisfaction. These stats are for all programs at MacEwan, and the Office Assistant employment rate is generally a little higher at 95%. The fact that 92% of students were satisfied with their decision to attend MacEwan is a true statement to the students' experience we strive for. MacEwan University has a variety of sports and services in place to help students in every aspect of their lives. The Career and Experience Center offers guidance and advice and hosts a variety of events to help students navigate their career journey. The Kiwa-Wasetton Indigenous Center has become a home away from home for Indigenous students where they can find personal, academic, and cultural support. Students can access free professional counseling through MacEwan's wellness and psychological services. We also have our access and disability resources that can be accessed by students to improve accessibility and remove barriers in the learning environment. And finally, MacEwan's University Health Center provides students with access to physical and mental healthcare services.
In the remainder of the presentation, we will go into a little more detail about the Office Assistant program and the three majors that are available. We'll review the admission requirements, the courses that you will take, and some notes about tuition. Besides Kelly and I, there is a wealth of other instructors that will support you in the program. Our lead instructor, Kelly Morris, has been with the program for more than 15 years. Kelly makes sure that the curriculum and program outcomes are up to date and what the industry is currently looking for. There are also a handful of other instructors that teach in the program, and they're hired because they're specialists in their industry. They include unit clerks, legal assistants, lawyers, executive assistants, and they all have first-hand experience doing the jobs that you will be doing in your future. We also have our excellent advisors that are with you today, Kimberly Tavares and Terry Robinson. They are the ones who keep the wheels on the bus and make sure our students get through the program registration, graduation application, and everything else that comes along. Plus, the program has the support of our assistant dean and school support staff. Office assistants are really the backbone of every office. They're the ones that make the day-to-day operations run smoothly. They're usually the ones you go to if you need help with technology, if you have any questions, and they're the ones then that can point you in the right direction. Office assistants are required in many different industries and organizations of all sizes. Here are a few of the employers and industries that often hire our graduates. Alberta Health Services, post-secondary institutions, including MacEwan, and we often snap up the best grads. The City of Edmonton, private law firms, construction companies, gas companies, oil companies, finance, insurance, and accounting companies, and much more.
This next slide shows job skills and competencies required by employers today. One of the ways we keep our grads employable is to ensure that they have all the competencies required for employment. So we teach these skills and more in the program. A starting salary for an administrative professional is between $35,000 and $75,000. This depends on the industry, specialization, and what other skills graduates bring to the table. So maybe you already have tons of customer service skills or another diploma or degree. You may be compensated at the middle or higher end of that number. The median salary is about $54,000 per year. The structure of the program was changed in fall 2021 in order to keep up with industry demand and ensure that we keep our curriculum relevant. All students, regardless of major, will take these 10 core classes. These competencies are common for all majors and include communications, customer service, office technology, office math, basic bookkeeping, document management, business communications, and field placement. You can see that the fall term has 5 classes that are common. The winter term has 3, and then all students have document management and field placement as a part of the spring term. Please note that some of these core courses may change as we're constantly changing our curriculum and updating our core courses. This is just talking about the administrative major. This is the most generic of the 3 majors. It focuses on computer skills, business knowledge, memo writing, transcription, and more specialized software programs. This major has career potential in basically any industry. Most businesses, big or small, will have some sort of administrative support. You could work in government offices, private companies, and as mentioned before, educational institutions like public schools or MacEwan University. The great thing about this major is that you can get a job in any industry, maybe as an administrative support in a hospital or at a travel agency or marketing company. Everyone needs administrative support. The specialized courses for the administrative major are highlighted here in yellow. As you can see, the focus is more on customer service, human resource basics, and business communications. Some program information about the legal major. Of course, the focus is on the legal industry, including computer skills, legal terminology, and practice transcription. You will learn specialized software programs that are used in the law offices. The career potential is generally government offices, law firms, private corporate companies, and even places here like MacEwan in our legal department. Most big companies have a legal department, even if they're not a law office. So the potential outside just the standard law office is there for you. Again, the legal specific courses are highlighted in yellow. You'll take a deep dive into the law and preparing legal documents in the Intro to Law course 1 and 2. Then in the 3rd term, you'll learn other facets of the law that are common, such as corporate and the legal documents course. The medical major focuses on terminology, both medical and pharmaceutical, medical office procedures, things like patient prep and processing of documents. Then, of course, you'll also look at the specialized software used in the industry. In terms of career potential, the majority of our grads go on to work at Alberta Health Services in some capacity, Covenant Health sites, and private doctors' offices. There's also potential for government offices, medical offices, Blue Cross, WCB, any business that has a medical focus to their business. As you can see in the highlighted specialized courses for medical, terminology is a big part of this major, as you have to understand medical and pharmaceutical terminology to be able to process documents and understand the procedures. Of course, there are courses dedicated to medical office procedures and medical documents where you will learn about orders and how those things get processed through the system so that you are ready to hit the ground running. Here's an example of a timetable for fall 22 and 23, so you get an idea of what your schedule might look like. As I mentioned previously, we are regularly updating our courses, so your schedule may not quite look like this, but we do try and keep the schedule as compact as possible for our students. As you can see, this year the students had Fridays off. However, we do not have full control over the university scheduling process. Classes are typically scheduled anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you're completing the program full-time, you can expect to be in class 15 hours per week. That's a total of 5 classes, each for 3 hours per week. We recommend that you devote at least 2 hours outside of class for assignments and studying for tests. Therefore, if you can set aside about 45 hours a week for school, you should be successful. The program is designed to be completed full-time over the course of 1 year. However, it is possible to take the program part-time. You should be aware that it will take you a minimum of 2 years to complete the program part-time. The reason it will take you 2 years is that the courses are only offered once in a specific term. For example, OADM 115 is scheduled in the fall. If you do not take this in fall 2023, then you need to wait until fall 2024 to take that class, as that is the next time it is scheduled.
There are lots of other benefits to our program. One of the biggest is our practicum component. It is a required component for all 3 majors, and the practicum is 4 weeks that is working full-time and completed typically in July and early August. Each major, so medical, legal, and administrative, has their own placement coordinator that will work with students in consultation to help you find and secure a placement. Keep in mind that one of the reasons our employment rates are so high is because our graduates often get jobs from their practicums, because it's really about 4 weeks to shine and put all of your new skills into practice. Just to go over some of the admission requirements, there's really just 2 admission categories, regular or mature. In both cases, though, the only academic requirement for admission is English 30-1 or English 30-2, or an equivalent course if you were in school in another province. You do need to have a minimum of 65% in your English 30 course. That's the only academic requirement, though, for admission. But if your first language is not English, then you'll also need to meet a minimum English language proficiency. There are many different ways to meet the ELP. There's high school classes and tests such as TOEFL, and you can find out more information at the website on the bottom of the screen. If you don't have your required English 30-1 or 30-2, then you can upgrade through our university preparation program. The spring term usually starts around May 4th and ends on July 20th. That'll still give you enough time to complete the requirements before the fall of 2023 for the intake of the next Office Assistant program. If you know you need to upgrade, then why not do it right here at MacEwan? You can get used to the facility. The deadline to apply for the spring term for the university preparation is April 30th. Again, for more information, the website is at the bottom of the screen. We wanted to give you a quick note about your keyboarding skills. Keyboarding is not a requirement for admission to our program. However, we strongly recommend that our students have basic keyboarding skills before beginning the program. Ideally, you should be able to type somewhere between 20 and 30 words per minute. But don't worry if your keyboarding is not up to par. You will continue to work on your skills throughout the program courses, and there's lots of tutorials available. The instructors will help you hone your keyboarding skills during the program to improve your skills and hopefully your accuracy, and get your speed up to between 60 and 70 words per minute, which is often what is demanded by the industry. A quick note to those of you who are interested in applying for a medical major. The only thing that is unique here is that it is not a requirement for admission. Students in this major do need to provide up-to-date immunization records and a clear police information check with the vulnerable sector screening. Don't worry about getting these documents right now. A few months into your program, your instructor, who's going to be your placement coordinator, will tell you what to do and how to get them. But just note that if you want to do a placement with AHS or Covenant Health or many other healthcare employers, then you're going to have to make sure that you have a clear PIC and vulnerable sector screening. If you do have a criminal record, don't worry, just contact us privately and we can let you know what your other options are. There's often some questions around how to apply for our program. So I'll tell you that we accept students on a first qualified, first admitted basis. So basically, as soon as your admission requirements are met, you can be accepted to our program. As a result, that does mean that it is best to apply early to guarantee a spot. The application deadline has just been changed to July 31st, 2023. We'll admit up to 80 students in the medical major and 40 for each of the admin and legal majors. so space is somewhat limited. The application deadline that you see, July 31st, is what we consider as the last day that you can submit an application for the program. But it is okay to still be completing your English course during this time. So, for example, if you're upgrading through university preparation, then your application will be assessed after the final grades for your English course have been submitted. When you go to apply, you'll do so online through MacEwan.ca/apply. This will actually bring you to the Apply Alberta website. If you went to school anywhere in Alberta, then MacEwan will automatically receive a copy of your transcripts electronically. But if you went to school out of province or out of the country, then you will need to have originals of your transcripts sent to the office of the University of the Registrar to be evaluated for admission. We should note as well that students can't bring in a copy of their transcripts. Typically, they're sent directly from the issuing institution to MacEwan University. Right after you apply, keep a lookout because you will get an acknowledgement letter, and this acknowledgement letter will give you login credentials for the MacEwan student portal. This is where you'll continuously be able to check the status of your application. Once you're admitted, please note that you do still have to accept your offer of admission, and you'll need to pay a $400 confirmation deposit, but this will be credited towards your tuition costs in the fall. What you see on the screen here now is the estimated program costs for the 2023-2024 year. So just keep in mind that these are the current tuition and fees, and it is the total for all 15 courses that you'll take over the 12 months of the program. It includes tuition, materials, and special fees, books, and supplies. You'll pay the tuition per term, or essentially in 3 equal installments. About a third is due in the fall at the end of September, a third is typically due in the winter, usually at the end of January, and the remaining 1/3 will be due in the spring term, typically at the end of May.
Just so you know, there's lots of scholarships, awards, and bursaries available to MacEwan students. This website, MacEwan.ca/scholarships, if you can do a quick, easy search on there to see if you're eligible for any of those scholarships. We also have some Office Assistant specific scholarships and awards. These are awarded in the second and third terms of the program. However, there are so many other scholarships and awards and bursaries available depending on your situation and financial needs. So we really encourage you to go to the website and take a look around to see if you qualify. If you are from out of town, we also have a student residence on campus. You can live and study on campus, and it's right near Allard Hall, which is where the School of Continuing Education building is. It's a convenient option if you're looking to relocate for school, and as you can see from the slide, there's 450 suites, lots of students that you can meet, dedicated study or social lounges, and access to resident events and programs. The convenient location has 1- and 2-bedroom apartments available, shared accommodations, or even a unit that you can have to yourself. Each suite has a kitchenette and bathroom, as well as utilities and wireless internet included. Applications open October 1st for the following fall. Thank you so much for attending our information session today. If you have questions, we are here to help. You can contact our advising center for general questions or the Office Assistant program directly if you have program-specific questions. Also, our advisors are here today to answer any additional questions you may have after this presentation. Thank you so much for coming.